This week in games, Netflix is set to acquire Warner Brothers. Xbox is not selling, and J.J. Abrams is making a video game? This is the Two Penny Gamescast. What's poppin', players? Welcome back to the Two Penny Gamescast, episode 278. I am your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good friend and co-host. Say hello to the people, Connor Elliott.
Hey, this is the first time we've actually just been you and me.
Yeah.
In what is the normal set.
Yeah.
Gotta put something like a statue, like a figure. Like we need to. Okay, I got some ideas we'll talk about off camera. Okay. Cutout. We buy cutout of something. Just to put right here. It's a good idea, huh?
I've got ideas. This is not the final thing. It requires some time and a little bit of money that I don't have, and some I've got some woodworking ideas. We're probably gonna put a shelf right here. A boring?
Yeah, you get cut out. Everybody has like a shelf or memorabilia. Well, you get a stupid cutout and you change it randomly.
All right. Well, here's my thought, Connor. There's this lamp here and this lamp here. Now, if you look at the geometry of the room, this makes about as much sense as it can because it's a weird geometry area that it is, geometric shape that it is. And so I'm thinking we're gonna hang a picture behind you. You know what that is, right? And so I feel like that would make sense for this angle, but it's also you're blocking the picture, so can it really be seen like that? But where else can I put that picture to where it could be seen? You know what I mean? It's just a weird space that we're in. You know what I'm saying? So would it make more sense to put that lamp in there based off the camera shot? Maybe it would.
Symmetry,
a little bit more symmetry, but I don't know. There just may not be a right answer with what we got here. We may need to figure out a different solution than these lamps that we have.
That's what I was thinking of.
Well in our last space, but I don't know if they work so well in this space.
Did they really besides the lighting on the wall? What does it really add? Lighting wise, in actually lighting the scene.
It's on the wall.
Yeah,
it gives the show color.
But that's the point of these things don't work anymore. Some other type of lamp.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure it out. I'm thinking, we might
floor lights,
something like that. We might just use these because I'm pretty sure they can unscrew from their base. So I might just attach them to the bottom and to the top.
Well, no, we have a. It's probably happening.
Or we'll
new
just buy
tech guy coming in.
We'll just buy some LEDs. And tech is a heavy word. We're gonna have someone who's gonna operate the cameras for us.
Yeah. So. Well, he's studied for that specifically. It's a whole degree, Tavin. In the same way it's acting in journalism for me. For acting for you, journalism for me.
Well, I don't have an acting degree, Connor. I have
your theater degree.
I have a bachelor's of arts. Yeah.
Bachelor's of arts.
Yeah.
What's it called? That's what it's called. Okay.
So I've studied all facets of it.
Okay.
I took a lighting course.
A what?
I took 2 lighting courses.
Oh. You would have to.
Yeah. Took a set building course.
Good thing you're almost done now.
Yeah. Screenwriting? Or playwriting, rather?
Not as good. Screenwriting's way better. Everyone knows.
It's the same thing. It's not that big of a difference.
I don't know the difference either.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is, of course, the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week, me and Connor come to you with the nerdy news you need to know concerning the video game industry. We each come to you with 2 topics, 2 pennies, if you will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Sorry, there's suddenly indigestion from the pot pie I had hours ago.
Oh.
It just comes up. It's the, I don't know, it's what is the sauce in a pot pie? What is that called? Like a filling or
filling, I guess, because it's a pie.
It's that weird, not gelatinous is the wrong word.
Pretty good word for it.
But it's that
thick.
Yeah, it's that thick cream. I guess it's a cream.
Yeah. It's definitely filling because it's a pie.
Yeah, it's that mixed with the carb of it with the crust and so forth. It just eventually it just kind of works its way back up into my
gravy's
system.
probably more of an accurate thing to call it.
Yeah, but it's not a gravy. Though.
It's not.
It's more of a cream.
That's why they say filling, because pie can be filled with anything, and it's just let's not get too nitty gritty. Just say filling. It's filling. It's a pie filling. Chicken pot pie.
I'd like to fill your pie.
See, I thought when you do that, it's
it's cream.
You get a look on your face that's either I'm trying to come up with a dirty joke or it's something I said that you're going to criticize, and I never know what it's going to be, and I'm always disappointed what it is.
Anyways, where was I in the thing?
something or other.
Two
News,
topics,
news,
2 pennies,
two
if you
pennies.
will, and we give you our 2 cents on them. Make sure that you subscribe to our Substack where we read all of the you know what I forgot to prep, Connor? The comments.
So good this week.
They were so good this week. Well, some of them were. Some of them were. Oh my god.
Some of them were they were calling for your death, which is still a good comment, but it's not one you would think is good. It's all a matter of perspective.
All a matter of perspective. Hold on. Let me peruse.
We did a Dark Souls review while I was doing that.
Yeah.
And as is often the case, Tavin has opinions that clash with certain members of the gaming community. And the Dark Souls ones have caught wind of it. And because we're very strong-willed people, we enforce our will by telling you to kill yourself.
Right, but they weren't even strong takes.
They were not.
They were very milquetoast takes. They were just explained in a way that they had not heard before. So I'm sorry that you fucking FromSoft freaks don't know anything about thematic structure. You don't know anything about the usefulness of language and the fluidity of language. I'm so sorry that you motherfuckers can only think in one dimension about things. Holy shit.
In terms of that, Tavin,
yeah.
I mean, you talk all the time. Dark Souls is a lot more of a subtle game. It's not talking to you, throwing things at you. You just always got to have some voice speaking. And that's your issue. It's why you are never able to engage with Dark Souls games, FromSoft games, as much as purists, as veterans like me.
I don't understand, because I played the game.
And you're wrong about the game. And
what am I wrong about? Exactly.
That thematically, you just don't get it.
Okay.
It's all about the passage of time. Things decay, Tavin. Did you not know things decay?
What?
It kind of becomes more relevant as the game goes.
Okay. All right.
Side note, Bill left his sweet tea here. Taking advantage of that later.
He's not gone yet.
No. All right. He's not in the room yet.
I want to point out on our the Game Awards 2025 nominations reaction, Mr. Ice-T's commented talking about our conversation about Arc Raiders. Of course, Arc Raiders was up for the fan vote for Player's Choice, for the Player's Choice of Game of the Year, right? Arc Raiders was up there. We thought Arc Raiders was going to do real well, especially because they were all in our comments the last couple of weeks because we were criticizing Arc Raiders for using AI, and they blew up our shit saying, oh, we're fucking idiots, we're soy boys, we're fucking woke liberal, dumbasses, this, that, and the third. Hey, motherfuckers, Arc Raiders didn't make it past the first round.
Player's Choice.
Player's Choice. That was your power. You chose not to support Arc Raiders. So maybe your little shitty-ass fucking AI game isn't as good as you think it is. All right? Maybe some of us had a point in saying, hey, it's important that we keep the credibility and the integrity of art alive through the hands of human beings and not allow any of this generative AI slop to seep through at every angle. I understand the main majority of the game does not have generative AI in it, but if you give them an inch, they will take a mile. And you fuckers showed your ass this week. You don't fucking care.
Their voices online, like ours, they mean something until they don't.
You dumbasses.
Like now.
On the Dark Souls is not fun short, Victor Fritz Son 4600 says, I believe the word you are looking for is rewarding. The games are at times fun and sometimes very frustrating, but they are some of my favorite games of all time.
In the same way, a $5 bill, when you spend it, you're getting something better than when you spend a $1 bill. You don't want to spend that $5 bill, but when you do it, you feel good after it. Good enough analogy?
Bring it down just a touch.
Volume-wise.
I'm watching the thing. My mic's getting... You're triggering my mic. When you trigger my mic, I'm like, oh, it's a real problem. You know.
Well...
Anyways, Victor, I think that's a great point. I think that was the word I was missing in that video and in that review describing of what it is to play a Dark Souls. It's very rewarding. It's absolutely super rewarding to play those games. And so, where the word fun I don't think applies, I do think the word rewarding applies. Well, so thank you for putting in your 2 cents and applying that right there.
Dark Souls is the least fun to me, but that is a better term to describe it because a lot of games are fun. Most games are fun, I would say.
Yeah.
But not every single one is you feel like your time was well spent playing it. It doesn't give you that dopamine rise.
And Connor, that brings me to the last comment that I want to bring onto the show this week. The Dog Pound Craves Blood commented on the same Dark Souls is not fun video and said, I have incredible amounts of fun in all the Souls games, but my main concern is if it's not fun, then why are you playing the game? Games shouldn't be a menial task. And I did reply to this and said they aren't menial, but they also don't have to be fun. There's more to them as an art form. And sort of based off of what you were just kind of saying, it's just like, yes, a lot of games are fun. Most of them are, you know? And like the main reason to go to a game is to be fun. But for most people, I should say. But it doesn't have to be fun. Is Inside fun? I don't know if Inside's fun, but like it's great and it's super entertaining and engaging and like it's just a piece of art that you go, oh, wow, this is different. This is really interesting. Like I'm really into this. And you see it from beginning to end. And by the time you get to the end of your experience, you go, that was a great time. But was it fun? That's just the question I have. Was it fun? Yeah, and there was a lot of comments saying, yo, fun and entertaining are synonyms. You're being an idiot. And I said, listen, I understand the definition does put the two words together as synonyms, right? But synonyms mean they generally mean the same thing. They don't necessarily mean the exact same thing. You know what I mean? Things can, like, it's a Venn diagram of things, and if they overlap mostly, then they're synonyms.
Entertaining would be something that's far more encompassing. Going back to the rewarding aspect, you know, a game doesn't need to be a game being fun doesn't necessarily mean it's rewarding.
Yeah.
More likely, entertaining is an element that can involve feeling fulfilled. Or maybe you respect the game for what it's trying to say, and you derive entertainment from that. It's, for all intents and purposes, I think it's completely fine using them interchangeably, but when you really want to get nitty-gritty, which you have to do when you talk about any piece of art a lot, that you kind of have to make distinctions where you can.
It's the getting granular about the medium that interests me personally as someone talking about video games. It's really narrowing it down and going, okay, what about this works? What works about it? Why doesn't it work? XYZ thing. You know what I'm saying? My main thing that I always point to is outside of video games is Schindler's List. Schindler's List is not a fun movie, but it's super entertaining. And you're going to watch it all the way through and go, wow, what one of the greatest films of all time, right?
Never seen it.
Really?
Yeah.
Really good, really long.
That's no problem.
Yeah, it's no problem. It's very long. It had an intermission in it. Back in the day.
Back when they still had them. Well, they kind of do.
Yeah, they didn't really have them back then. You know, it was just
90s,
it was just that long. What was the last movie to have an intermission?
The Brutalist.
Really? Okay.
Yeah,
I was thinking the Hateful Eight had an intermission. Is that
I think
right?
only certain showings did because I went in thinking it was going to, and it didn't.
It just played right through, right?
Yeah. Didn't need one, so I understand.
So yeah, Schindler's List is kind of my example point of that, and games can function the exact same way. Like there's like a bunch of games that just aren't fun. Is Shadow of the Colossus fun? No. But it's not about just having fun. It's about the experience of it. This is an interactive medium. That's what it makes it my medium of choice, right? Is that it's interactive. It's more engaging. It elicits more demand from its audience than any other medium in the world, right? And so it's all about the experience you have while playing the game. And that experience may not always be fun. It might be rewarding. You might learn something. You may walk away and go, I don't know what that was, but it had me enthralled from beginning to end, you know? And by the time I got to the end of it, I went, wow, what an experience. And then that was it. I think Alan Wake is kind of like that for me a little bit. Like that game's not fun, mostly because the game part of Alan Wake 1 is not good. But the artistic, the narrative, the art behind it, the meta commentary on writing and so forth was so enthralling that I was like, I have to see it to the end because I have to know what's going next. You know?
Right. Yeah. Hey, the more you leave comments like this, the more we can talk about games like this. Because it is fun to read the comments that, well, it's good with all of the comments because it's fun to have you get threatened. But aside from that, it's more fun and entertaining to engage with them.
Okay, you want to see? Yeah, let me pass this to you. You don't have to read them or whatever. But I put it up as a story. Oh my god! I just opened Instagram. There's 90 new comments. Yeah, that's gonna fade away. So you keep your finger on it.
Yeah. I want to set the thing at the top on fire.
Oh, you didn't have to read it, but just to see kind of what I'm getting.
Right, literally on fire. Gasoline, lighter, on fire.
You
could have worded that better, buddy. Put a shotgun in your mouth. Shot for saying, it's funny. It's good. Less of those, more of the other kind.
Let's see if we got anything. Let's see if we got anything new.
Some new ones.
Every person that cries about ableism is just a pathetic pile of slime. Wow.
Oh, dang.
Wow.
Jesus.
This dude 100% was raised by a single mother. The fuck?
He's wrong. There you go. Well, for the most part, he's wrong.
But the first half of my childhood, he's wrong. The second half, he's not. And
even then, technically, then it wasn't even single mother. It was dual father and mother. I guess that's how you would put that.
No, I mean that's a single mother. But
then the dad.
I had a co-parenting situation.
Yeah.
But my parents were single. Well, one of them was single. Still single. Okay. Oh, and then this person commented with a GIF, these are always great. Oh, it's some guy. Oh, okay. All right. It's just a little reaction GIF. Nothing crazy.
Instagram is usually not the site where we get a lot of engagement. So it's kind of surprising.
We have a lot of engagement on this one. And I'm very scared for when the ableism video hits YouTube and hits TikTok. Oh man. YouTube specifically, I'm like that can't be good. That's not gonna be good at all. So.
Well, Instagram's pretty brutal. Like, is it?
Thing? Like, I would have thought Instagram would have been like a more like collaborative, like engaging. People would have been willing to have a conversation on it.
On my side of the internet, which is saying not the entire picture, is they could be just really weirdo.
Oh, they're weird.
The videos that are on there are the weirdest by far when it comes to all the sites.
You think so?
That's what I've heard. I don't really use Instagram.
Is there less restrictions on Instagram than there is on like a TikTok?
There seems to be. I have seen like bits of videos that are apparently from Instagram, and people can. I don't know.
Like there's like straight up porn on Twitter.
There is. Is there not on Instagram?
I don't think so.
I feel like there has to be.
The Facebook company, no?
Oh, that's where their meta is supposed to be. Let Twitter have. I like Twitter
because of the porn.
Good stuff.
You fucking gooner. You
art.
Nasty
Not real people. By the way, like art being created there.
Of porn.
Yeah. The other non-porn stuff, but the porn stuff's good.
Anyways, Connor, moving on to our first topic of the day, our first penny of the day, and this is actually going to be my first penny of the day. Excuse me. Netflix is set to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. I'll remind everybody down in the comments or down in the description below, you can find the link to our Substack where our very own Connor Elliott, taking a time code currently, is has written all of our stories that we are going to read on today's episode. So make sure you check that out, TwoPennyGamesNews.substack.com. And man, Phil's been on the shitter for a long time, bro.
I know how he feels.
Oh my God. Netflix set to purchase Warner Brothers Discovery. Netflix and media conglomerate Warner Brothers announced the closing of a $82.7 billion deal. That's a bigger number than I read earlier this week. Holy shit.
There was some like the speculation or like the beginning numbers were like 72 billion.
Yeah.
And then it like the official one seems to be this. Okay. I was seeing some different stuff though. So it's not finalized yet. So we'll see what it ends up being.
It's a lot of money.
It's Warner Bros.
The closing of an $82.7 billion deal that would see the popular streaming service own the company and its video game developers like Rocksteady Games. Today's announcement combines two of the greatest storytelling companies in the world to bring to even more people the entertainment they love to watch the most, said President and CEO of Warner Brothers Discovery, David Zaslav. Quote, for more than a century, Warner Brothers has thrilled audiences, captured the world's attention, and shaped our culture. By coming together with Netflix, we will ensure people everywhere will continue to enjoy the world's most resonant stories for generations to come. The acquisition finalizes a bidding war that involved companies such as Paramount and Comcast before deciding upon Netflix despite projections to the contrary. Speaking with Yahoo Finance, CD analyst Jason Bazinet comments on the purchase saying, quote, we only have a 5% likelihood that this transaction would be consummated. Netflix has limited experiences in the gaming market, with most gaming ventures amounting to mobile games playing on their devices, like Dead Cells Netflix Edition and Bloons TD6, as well as interactive shows like Black Mirror Bandersnatch. The original head of Netflix Games, Mike Verdu, left the company last year to work on AI, with Verdu's replacement being former executive vice president of games development at Epic Games, Alan Taskin. Since Taskin's hiring, Netflix over time would shutter its studio team Blue, comprised of veterans across the industry, as well as lay off an unknown number of employees at its first acquired studio, Night School Studio. We covered that, shut down on this very show.
But shut down, layoffs.
Did the studio not get shut down?
Team Blue did. Oh, I thought you were talking about.
Night School
Studio.
did. Oh, Night
Still
School only
around.
had layoffs. Oh,
Yeah,
gotcha. There's the big shitter himself.
Mm-hmm.
For the record.
Sure.
Uh-huh. Oh, you were sitting on my bed.
Yeah.
You were shitting on my bed?
No, I'm sitting in-
You were shitting in the toilet. Sitting on my bed.
So he says.
So he says. Okay, did you whack one out real quick? Or like, he whacked one out real quick.
He gets weird in other people's places. I've heard him do
noticed,
weird
I've
stuff.
noticed that. I've
Yeah.
noticed that.
here's-
He hadn't been shitting
mentioned something,
since he heard it.
uh,
The sweet tea. Oh, he heard that. Oh,
Oh.
you're fucking. Anyways,
Fuck.
Netflix buying Warner Brothers.
It's going to be bad.
I don't see a positive.
Well, I actually heard some people over talking about it, and they're going to have more shows on Netflix.
Great.
That's the good part.
HBO Max is arguably Netflix's biggest competitor, second to only like Amazon, but Amazon's not like 100% a streaming site, really. So in terms of,
hope you're ready.
Oh, yes.
Phil says he hopes we're ready that Netflix is an extra $5. Joke's on you. I don't have a Netflix subscription.
Neither do I.
Netflix has not provided anything that I've been like, ooh, I want to watch that until recently with the Diddy documentary. I want to watch that.
I didn't know what you were going to say
You
when
know?
you first said that.
But in the last 6-7 years, I've not seen anything that's been on. All right, I've not seen
That was
anything
not
that's been on Netflix that I'm like, ooh, I want to watch that. So like, I think them buying HBO is one of my main streaming services that I use. It's that and Disney Plus that I use. Hulu through Disney Plus. Bye, Phil. Anyways,
Wow.
so like the conglomeration of the two biggest streaming services into one is very, very frightening to me. And of course, Netflix being pretty much a pure streaming company. I understand that they have put movies in theaters before, but they've already said, hey, expect movies to have shorter run times in theaters and to come to streaming faster.
Yeah.
You know, that's frightening to me. I love the movie theaters. I want theaters to exist. I think movie theaters existing is the purest, most one-to-one way that we as consumers can show support for movies as an art.
It's also the best way to consume that art form.
I
by
agree.
A large degree.
Big screen, loudspeakers, all of that. For movies where it makes sense, the audience participation in that or the audience experience of that. When a twist happens, everybody gasps at the same time. When a big jump scare happens, everybody screams. When a fan service moment, everybody applauds.
Mm-hmm.
That can really add something to going to a movie theater. And I think Netflix moving in on one of the biggest movie makers, Warner Brothers, out there is very, very scary for that side of the business. I don't see how it's good for consumers even at home with their streaming services. As Phil already said, Netflix is going to get more expensive. HBO is going to be lumped into that somehow, some way. Also probably going to get a price hike. Yeah.
They're adding more movies. There's more stuff. So more people are going to pay for Netflix to watch on it. So why would they raise the price?
More people are going to pay more. Oh,
Yeah.
why would they raise the price?
Yeah.
Because they can.
Why?
Because they're assholes. Like, I don't know what to tell you, man.
Monopolization
Yeah.
is in full effect right now. We'll talk about this with the next story.
Yeah.
And an even worse story than this one. But it's just becoming the norm of where consolidation is going to be very beneficial for the people that are consolidating.
Yeah.
David Zaslav's going to get a major payout. Whoever the head of Netflix is, I can't be bothered to remember their name. They're going to make more money, but it's going to be put back still on the consumers.
Yeah.
Because they can now take advantage of the fact there's not as many streaming services out there to have some competition. And it's just we always talk about something like this. Where
This is
it's-
exhausting.
It
Every
is,
week
really.
we have to come in here and give you the same story, but different companies.
Some purchase.
You
Saudi
know,
Arabia
and
purchased
then
EA, and now this.
And then it's 9 months of company that got bought is now laying off, 5,000 people, 7,000 people, 10,000 people all at once. And you're like, oh, fuck, here we go again. And speaking specifically from a games perspective,
yes,
right? This is where it gets even more
concerning.
Where Netflix has dipped their toes into games. You mentioned it in your article here with things like Dead Cells, Netflix Edition. There's a bunch of other games that are like Netflix editions versions of the games and so
Small
forth.
games you wouldn't really
Netflix
think
has
of.
been like quietly building a library and building a catalog. What they have failed to do is produce something of their own. But they've been doing their best to like bring people over to the site and have it playable on your phone in some way, shape, or another. It's basically just another way to play a game on your phone.
Yeah.
Without like going through the App Store, you're just going directly through Netflix instead. It doesn't seem to me that Netflix knows what they're doing on the gaming side. Like, specifically with this purchase, I don't think this was a purchase to make. I don't think they were interested in this purchase for Warner Brothers Gaming division.
No, it's a side benefit.
Maybe even if they even want that.
Yeah, they could decide to just abandon it. Because
my understanding is even in the Netflix's announcement, the bit about gaming wasn't even like very long. It was like a slide where they just said, oh, and of course the interactive arts, something like that. Like just it was like the verbiage and the tonage that they used where I was like, oh, y'all don't know what that is. Y'all don't realize you have Rocksteady Games under that. Y'all don't realize that you have NetherRealm Studios under your belt here. You don't realize that these are some of the biggest and greatest studios in the world under your belt, delivering phenomenal, amazing games.
Wow, NetherRealm.
Most of the time, I'm surprised you went NetherRealms and not Suicide Squad.
That's the company's fault more so than the developer's fault.
Yeah. Wow, you really got a problem with NetherRealms, huh?
Their games aren't good. Their fighting games suck.
Been holding down mainstream fighting gaming for 30 years.
Yeah, mainstream because they have blood and guts and famous characters. Oh, they got the Terminator. So in other words, it's dog shit.
But it works.
It's dredge.
But it works.
It's the same people who are going to be ecstatic to pay more for their Netflix account.
I refuse to believe that Mortal Kombat's a bad series.
Bad series? No, I didn't say that.
Now, Mortal Kombat 1 didn't seem to light the world on fire, but Mortal Kombat 11 and X certainly did.
They did, but
of course, when it came back with Mortal Kombat, the 2011, 2009.
I'm speaking from like a guy who likes video games, and they suck. Or they're inferior to other games that don't get as much attention.
The word you're looking for is pretentious.
No, because Mortal Kombat's so big, how can you be pretentious for not liking Mortal Kombat? Because its systems aren't that good, and it relies on famous characters in its roster.
I don't think it... Well, you keep bringing up, the Terminator stuff. Those come later.
But those seem to, I know, but that's what keeps the game alive, is, look at this new Conan. You got Conan now. Or things like that. I remember this character from this thing you like? Now he's in this game where you can do cool, gory stuff with him. Gory's the other part about it that people like.
The gore is definitely an element of it.
The driving element.
Growing up, it was always oh my God, the fatalities in this one look so crazy. Yeah. Stuff like that. Anyways, all of that to say, I don't believe Netflix has a plan for Warner Brothers Gaming. And with that comes a lot of problems. Because also when acquisitions are in the process like this, the company being acquired can't make any major strategies or plans or anything like that. So Netflix is essentially putting HBO Max on pause for however long it takes to get this deal through. And the current state of Warner Brothers Gaming is going to be exactly what it is until this deal is through and passed. And it doesn't seem like they have a plan for them after that. So I just don't foresee this ending up in a good spot other than Netflix then selling off its studios. Probably not the IPs attached to those studios, but selling off the studios to somebody else,
or just shuttering them,
shutting them down, or laying mass amounts off, or diluting their value to where they can get a real good cheap price for them or something. Well, I guess that wouldn't really matter. I don't know how these things work, but
allow the. Well, I think of I can't remember who they were owned by Embracer Group, Saber Interactive, the recent creators of Space Marine 2, where they were allowed to go independent. And they went off and did their own thing. They didn't get sold to some other big publisher. But I don't think that's a good baseline example of what Netflix is going to do with its studios, especially because they don't really care about it. So might as well sell it and get something for it.
I mean, we've seen a couple of examples go every which way. I mean, even with Microsoft's major acquisition run that they were doing, they when they bought Bethesda Game Software or ZeniMax, when they bought ZeniMax, they then shut down the Hi-Fi Rush team. What is that team's name?
Tango Gameworks?
Tango Gameworks, which was then revived by Krafton later on. But then when they bought Activision Blizzard King, they let Toys for Bob go and have their own independence, Yeah. So, it's a really tricky thing, and I don't know what these backroom talks are going to look like, but, and there's going to be a lot of meetings. And I just don't foresee this ending in a way that looks good. NetherRealm Studios has not been independent for so long. Can they go back to being independent? Rocksteady, I don't know if Rocksteady has ever been independent.
I don't think so. It's always been working mainly with Warner Bros. IPs.
Right.
And
So
now they're
then
not going to be relying on that anymore.
what happens from there? And then, are there big dogs in the gaming space fiending for these, legendary studios? I would be, if I were Xbox or PlayStation, I'd be knocking on Netflix's door and being like, hey, man, so what are you planning on doing with these guys? Maybe not Xbox, because they've done enough. But, if I were PlayStation, I'd be looking at Rocksteady and going, oh, wait, we can get the Batman guys and the Spider-Man guys? Wait a minute, what? Something to that effect.
And the other side of this is someone maybe more hopeful, less realistic, I would say, would hope that some regulatory body would come in and say, well, this is going to be really bad for consumers, but they're not going to. On a good day, they're not. Certainly not under... Again, I mentioned this with the EA acquisition of Saudi Arabia.
That sounds like some liberal woke tard trying to get that big government to come in here, Connor. We don't go for that around here.
You're right. We should just pardon any criminal we want and let deals like this go through, because making money is good for everybody, regardless of who is making the money.
You know what I should do is I should have like a little compartment down here, and at any point I could just pull out my Luigi hat and just put the Luigi hat on. You know what I mean?
Wait, but why?
Huh?
Why? He's innocent. What'd he do?
God, I forgot about that. And even if he isn't, they fucked it up. They fucked it up real bad.
He's probably gonna walk. But
yeah.
Aside from that,
oh man,
wait, we're not talking about that Luigi.
Well,
we're talking about Luigi for his divorce.
Maybe we shouldn't have this conversation on microphone. If he walks, they're gonna kill him.
Not necessarily, because there actually is a lot of legitimate reasons of he might not have actually done it.
Right, but they would rather kill him and leave it up to question than admit that.
That is fair, but I guess we'll see. Like, we'll see how awful this deal is when it goes through, because it'll inevitably go through, and it's going to be bad. No matter how. Okay,
I saw some experts saying, on the like streaming and television side of things, because that's where the real major story is. It's not really about the bigger picture is not about the game side. We just have a games perspective, so we look at that first. The bigger picture is the streaming service of HBO Max and Netflix and movie theaters and stuff like that. But I saw that like a lot of experts were talking and saying like, yo, this deal is ridiculous. There's no way that FTC is going to let this through, especially with what happened with the Microsoft acquisition, the years ago, and how that like turned out.
And they lied about things related to the acquisition as well.
Right. So like, and there was even a conversation of like, Netflix knows this isn't going to work. And so what they're really just doing is putting their biggest competitor on pause for 18 months,
I see.
And so, now HBO is going to be in the toilet because this deal is not going to go through. And Netflix is then going to have to spend some money to repair that. But it's only like, I think I saw the numbers. It's not even like hundreds of millions. It's like, I think it's like $50 million or something like that just for wasting their time.
See, the issue is that's, I think, obviously these people know more about this stuff than I do.
Right.
But that seems to be more old knowledge and mindset going in.
Anything's free in Trump's America, buddy.
Yeah. So, because corruption as a general thing is fine with him. So why would an acquisition by another company be any issue? Not going to be. I say corruption because he recently, he's been pardoning a lot of people. Some of them just people who stole money from Americans. And he not only got them out of their prison sentence, but also made it to where they didn't have to pay any restitution. There was a Democratic lawmaker who recently got pardoned, him and his wife, and now he's running for a Democratic position again, the same one he lost. And after that, Trump came out and was really angry at him because he's running back to the Democratic Party and not servicing him, basically. It's, and this is going to be the same kind of deal where I think those people behind the scenes, David Zaslav's a scumbag, and he would want to make money off of this deal. And I see him and people at Netflix saying, well, we're in an administration it's really maybe the only time, hopefully the only time, where that's a possibility, a strong possibility that they're just going to let us, let the deal go through. If we play a little bit of favoritism towards them, maybe we can help facilitate that a bit more. I see them as using the times that we're in as justification for how they can allow this sale to go through. Which is why I think it's different than the conventional wisdom that most economists might consider. Or at least the ones you cited. I didn't hear who exactly was saying that, but it seems reasonable.
The clips I've seen from your general news sources and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where, they bring on the experts to be like, hey, what's going on?
Right.
You know what I mean? moving on to our next topic of the day, and it was interesting to me that you said this was a more dour topic to
No, an aspect of this story that I wrote
okay,
is
all
more
right,
dour.
all right. Well, of course, Connor, this is going to be your first penny of the day. Go ahead and take it away, my friend.
Yes. Nex Playground outsells Xbox on Black Friday a week after it overtook PlayStation sales. Black Friday saw a huge number of console sales in preparation for the holidays, and surprising no one, PlayStation 5 and Nintendo Switch 2 consoles saw great success. However, a surprising upset came when the Xbox Series X/S wasn't the usual third-place winner, replaced by a family console called the Nex Playground. This comes from Executive Director of Video Games Matt Piscatella at market research company Circana, who shared U.S. Black Friday sales from their Circana retail tracking service. They report that of all console sales, PS5 won the gold medal, comprising 47% of sales, with the Switch 2 closest behind, with the 24% of cumulative sales. The Nex Playground would achieve 14% of all console sales, and while no percentage points were for Xbox was given, Piscatella ranks the Playground as being third place for all sales. 2023 console is made by Nex, a U.S. company based in San Jose, California, who markets their motion-based console that, quote, combines gaming with physical movement and learning, end quote. The console hosts a variety of family-oriented / friendly games like Fruit Ninja, Luminous, and Nex Gym Fitness, with the option of a $90 Play Pass that provides new updates, games, and themes over the year. The Playground currently goes for a market price of $250, with Black Friday prices going for around $200. Microsoft, controversially, has had 2 price increases of Xbox consoles this year alone, in addition to a $10 price hike of its Game Pass Ultimate subscription.
Oh, this is like a kid's console that like your aunt would buy you for some reason or something. Oh, okay. That makes sense as to why it was sold.
Exactly.
I was like, I've never heard of this thing before in my life, but okay, this totally makes sense.
Neither had I. Fears of higher DRAM costs, this is the part that's dour, have gripped the games industry as 2 of the 3 suppliers of digital memory, Samsung and SK Hynix, have agreed to supply OpenAI with RAM for its expansion of AI data centers that heavily rely on the component. To add fuel to the fire, the other supplier of RAM, Micron Technology, will no longer supply consumers with the crucial component, as it will now also focus on AI infrastructure. Can you click on the article real quick? Quote, the AI-driven growth in the data center has led to a surge in demand for memory and storage, said Micron's EVP, Executive Vice President, and CBO, Chief Business Officer, Sumit Sadana. Micron has made the difficult decision to exit the crucial consumer business in order to improve supply and support for our larger strategic customers in faster-growing segments. Thanks to a passionate community of consumers, the crucial brand has become synonymous with technical leadership, quality, and reliability of leading-edge memory and storage products. We would like to thank our millions of consumers, hundreds of partners, and all of the Micron team members who have supported the crucial journey for the last 20 years, and now go fuck yourself. They didn't say that, but that's basically what they're saying, because now they're looking at the consumers and saying, well, now you're going to, not be able to get RAM from us. So you can go to the other people who are increasing the price of RAM because they're also doing AI, delving into the AI space for their memory components. And I know we're talking about the Nex Playground here, and that's an interesting topic.
Well, the story is Xbox.
The story is Xbox, yes.
Is really that, right? But the throwing in of the RAM is problematic because, of course, the tech industry right now is just in a fucking frenzy with the rise of AI. What does that mean? The different lengths that we're willing to go to replace human beings with AI. It needs to be, discussed and legislated as soon as possible. But of course they won't, because as we mentioned already, we live in Trump's America where fucking everything fucking sucks. And so
it's always sucked, but it sucks even more.
Oh, listen, you're gonna tell me these last 12 months were easier than the 12 months before it?
It sucks more. That's
okay. All right. Anyways, all that to say, man, that part of the thing really sucks, and it's affecting us on all angles. The console manufacturers are getting increased prices for components, which means they're passing those costs on to us, which means it's more expensive to just buy a console. But if you want to go the other way and have more freedom and flexibility and personalization of a home built PC, well, guess what? Now you got to pay the raw money for whatever it takes for these RAM pieces, which might actually well, PCs have always been more expensive than consoles, but it will boost your price of your PC even more. So
Across the board.
It makes PC purchasing just not reasonable in a period of time in which the economy is just not doing well. The cost of living is so fucking high everywhere else. Why would I spend all this extra money doing that? Which leads us back to these Black Friday sales, which I think are fucking fascinating to talk about here. So we look at, of course, through Circana's numbers, PlayStation 5 selling the most this last Black Friday. I think that makes the most sense.
Of course.
They've been on the market for 5 years, and they've got themselves a library of games that people are interested in jumping into and playing. They've got already we're the front runner in console sales as is right now. So, they have the mainstream notoriety as being the console to get, right? The meme is always, oh man, I got a PS5, like
it won the console war.
Right,
Kinda did.
And now that it's 5 years deep, we can slash our prices for events like Black Friday a lot more effectively than we can for a Switch 2, which just came out this year. You're going to see a bigger discount on a PlayStation 5 than you're going to see for a Switch 2. Switch 2, I think it shows that the Switch 2 is very strong and very successful right now. The fact that it came in second place, right, and is still selling quite well. And I believe was that Switch 2 was Nintendo's fastest selling console.
Yeah, that's what it was
in its opening month or whatever. So I think Nintendo has secured a pretty strong follow up to their console, the Nintendo Switch, which did gangbusters, as we of course know.
As far as the Nex goes,
the thing that makes you go, no.
I think it's very obvious why the Nex won out. As you said, as you were finding out, it's a family-based console. It's one that, even though it's pricey, it's not too pricey that some relative who's looking to make a kid very happy or buy something for the family in the holiday season would look at that and say, well, I'll get that, and buying that way more over the Xbox, which, as I mentioned in the article,
less than half the cost.
Yeah,
it's $250 before discounts.
Yes.
This thing's cheap,
And Xbox has only dug itself into a grave by constantly raising the price of its consoles.
Yeah.
Because when the sales come, it's not going to be as substantial as it would have been if you didn't raise those prices.
Well, now
Certainly
let's be fair. All three of the major manufacturers are doing that. I would argue the problem that Xbox is suffering right now is their marketing campaign of everything is an Xbox is now taking the emphasis off of their own console and saying, hey, you don't have to buy the console. You can play Xbox games anywhere, on your phone, on your tablet, on your laptop, on your TV, and so forth. So why would I buy the hardware if I can play it everywhere? And then on top of that, their library has never been the strongest and continues to not be the strongest, despite having a landmark year this last year in terms of software releases, with notable titles such as Outer Worlds 2 and Avowed and Grounded 2, South of Midnight, Doom: The Dark Ages. I could keep going, I think just Xbox this generation has failed to find a successful strategy in selling the hardware.
That is true, but while that would usually be the main point when we're talking as we normally do, we have to take into consideration this is about Black Friday sales, where the barrier of consumer and gamer kind of comes down. It's people who want the best deals. And when you just look at that from a raw perspective, you're not even going to really think about that. You're going to look at PlayStation and say, well, that's cheaper than the Xbox. Let me get that.
Is it?
Yeah, definitely. It's already cheaper. Because remember,
didn't the Series X launched cheaper than the PlayStation 5, didn't it?
Launched, but now they've raised the prices.
Well, PlayStation has also raised their price.
Not as substantially. Not even close as much.
It was like $50 in the US and $100 everywhere else, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then they increased the prices of Xbox consoles twice this year. So it's across the board. And, of course, you also have things. I know PlayStation 4 sold well during Black Friday, as it, of course, would. And so it's more than just the new generation consoles.
Microsoft Xbox Series X sells for $550. I feel that is what a PlayStation 5 is.
Might be.
I'm seeing $500 for Ghost of Yotei version.
But that's even without Black Friday, too.
Yeah. No. Well, yeah. I'm looking at that. Walmart has the disc edition of a PlayStation 5 for $530. It looks like. Let me see actual PlayStation Direct. Let's.
And even if they're not like the biggest, largest, substantial gap in between prices.
That's a pro. That's a pro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, you still want the best deal on Black Friday. It's the whole point.
Yeah.
So regardless, it would be cheaper. It wouldn't be the exact same price.
Digital edition, $500 still. Oh wow, is that really still $500 and then $400 up with the current sales going on from PlayStation Direct itself?
Mm-hmm.
Fascinating. Where do these numbers come from? Let me read that again.
The Matt Piscatella over at Circana.
Over Circana, but are they doing just realtors, or are they also including buying from manufacturers directly?
My understanding was it was just cumulative.
Okay.
On their own numbers.
Okay.
But then again, actually, no. I don't believe it is because it was from their retail model, the retail tracking service.
Okay, so they're looking at the Walmarts.
They're looking at the Walmarts, yeah.
Yeah, okay. I mean, again, I think it's a marketing problem is what Xbox has.
I mean, that doesn't help.
Yeah,
I just think that...
because also, like, if that were true, then Xbox Series S would... be selling off the shelves like it has the past couple of years.
True.
So the Xbox Series S is currently $400.
And I think that's where the factor of, well, what is the Xbox Series S compared to the PlayStation 5? Definitively a more powerful console, a more certainly mainstream console. I mean, part of that also goes with the branding of Xbox. I don't like their branding with the Series X and S, even though it's a good idea. They're almost very.
It would have been a good idea if they committed to it.
Yeah, exactly.
But they didn't, and they should have been putting iterative consoles out every 3 years. Of this is the Xbox Series, whatever, right? Is what they should have been done, or they're giving us different SKUs or a handheld version or something, right?
The iPhone model,
but something, right? But then they backed out, and like they've done with every other one of their chips, is because they can't commit to the vision that they have, right?
Because there's no vision.
This goes all the way back to the Xbox One. Where, like, yes, the reaction to that was negative. But you look forward another 10 years, and it's basically where we are anyway. Xbox was ahead of the curve. They just didn't commit to the fucking vision. And it cost them everything.
Good.
So now they're getting outsold by family-friendly motion sensor gaming consoles that nobody's fucking heard of.
Now, this obviously isn't going to keep up. It's the Black Friday that's causing Nex to shoot up above Xbox, but that's still not a good thing. You know, this has never been done
in a landmark year for Xbox on the software side.
Yeah,
that's a problem, man. That's a problem. After the hype of Starfield happening, after having all of the marketing dollars behind Cyberpunk 2077,
Game Pass helps.
Game Pass helps. After all the marketing that they put into probable Game of the Year winner Claire Expedition 33, like. All of that money in marketing spent to what? To come fourth place behind a fucking motion sensor console? Wow, man. Like, that's a real big problem that you have. And I don't think there's a way to fix it anymore. Like, especially because you've committed to this now new marketing scheme of everything is an Xbox. Well, if everything's an Xbox, then nothing's an Xbox. You know what I mean? So then I just don't care. So then you're not a console manufacturer. And this only matters if you want to stay a console manufacturer.
Which they've admittedly kind of pulled back on, knowing that they can't compete the way they used to.
I mean, we've been theorizing for well over a year that this might be the last generation of Xbox, you know? I've always thought, oh, they'll do one more and then they're out. I don't feel that way anymore, you know, especially after they shelved their handheld model. They're doing the thing that they're doing with the ROG Ally, which does seem fantastic. Everybody does love that model. So maybe that is where they find their niche now is hey, Xbox is a storefront, but then why are you called Xbox?
And it's not a good idea to give them the benefit of the doubt because they have never deserved it in years. They haven't.
I'm not going to go that far.
Even when you take something like Game Pass.
I think pre-ABK acquisition, I thought Xbox was in a very strong standing and was set to take not the lead, but make the space very, very competitive. Well, but since the ABK acquisition, which did drag out too long and cost them a whole lot more money than they were expecting to, no, they've not shown me in any way that they are prepared for what comes next in this industry, right? And even when they have good ideas, they always take half step forwards and then 2 steps back. And I'm like, well, then what was the fucking point of taking the half step forward? You know?
You gotta question it.
Gotta question it.
Which I just think they don't know what they're doing. I chalk it up to that. They've been on the back foot for years now.
I think there was a cool minute where it looked like they were really going to go at the PlayStation's neck, and it was a cool minute where it really looked like they were going to reestablish themselves as the hotness, and then they just didn't commit, because they weren't willing to take the cost hit up front for long-term results. If we were dealing with the same Xbox that we had 3 years ago, 4 years ago, today, there would be no doubt in my mind that I think that I would be purchasing an Xbox right now. It was an evolving conversation on this show of me saying, "Hey, I think I kind of want an Xbox."
And look how wrong, like many things, you are.
And then they just kept putting their foot in their mouth, and I went, "Never mind, I don't." And this is coming from someone who's been a PlayStation gamer their entire lives. So I don't know what Xbox wants from me, and so I don't know what to give them. This is from a enthusiast perspective, right? The general consumer, Xbox may not even be on their radar anymore. They may go, "Oh, are they still making those?"
That's when you know you're dead, as far as a console manufacturer.
And then we get all these mixed messaging and talk on social media of, "Oh, Xbox has been pulled off the shelf at this retailer. No, they're still here at this retailer," and so forth. I saw a couple weeks ago, someone said, "Hey, Xboxes are getting pulled off the shelves at Walmart." Mm-hmm. Immediately, that was followed up with, "No, they're still here. Whatever store you went to just ran out or something," right? But Sam's Club dropped them. Mm-hmm. Sam's Club matters. Not as much as the Best Buys and the Walmarts, but it matters. And so if you're getting pulled off of there, I think Target has been talking about downsizing the amount of Xboxes that they're putting on shelves and so forth. That hurts. You can't sell if the stores aren't willing to sell you. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would not be surprised at all if my fucking Aunt Michelle went, "Hey, I'm looking for a console for my boys. What should I get them?" And I went, "Well, I mean, Xbox is an option." They went, and she would go, "I haven't heard that name in 15 years." You did it to yourself, bro. I don't there's no other way to look at it. I had a final point and I don't remember what it was.
Final point is that Microsoft just loses every single time we talk about them on the show.
Dude.
Something bad, either for the consumer or for them. And hey, RAM's going to get more pricey, and then they'll be able to be in a worse position.
Now, if this was Tavin of a year or two ago, I would have argued, well, it's okay if we start losing on this front because the consoles are eventually going to go away, right? We're streaming is around the corner. It's right there. You can see it. I would be surprised in another 5 years if we are not streaming as our main way of playing games, right? It would not surprise, maybe not main way, but one of the main ways of us playing games is through streaming, right? Within the next 5 years, I think that's totally feasible, easily feasible. Honestly, in the next 3 years, it's probably something's going to change and happen, right? But I don't believe that Xbox has put themselves in a position to where they are prepared for that future anymore. They were once upon a time. They looked like they were gearing up for that angle, but it doesn't look like that anymore. And I just don't see the future in which they will continue to be that. And even though I'm saying, hey, they've launched a lot of great games this year, they haven't launched Game of the Year titles this year.
And those games you can get on things like PC and depending on what it is, PlayStation. Not exactly
where I played Doom: The Dark Ages.
Yeah,
it's
was Claire on PlayStation? I don't think it was it?
What?
Claire wasn't on PlayStation, was
Claire's on PlayStation.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Claire Obscure, despite having the marketing deal with Xbox, is not a Xbox
Yeah, it's not an Xbox
title.
Studio.
I'm sure they're kicking themselves in the butt now for that because I'm sure I'm sure it was a conversation.
Oh yeah,
it
would have been.
But
I'm happy they didn't.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
Because I think it equated to great success for the game. Even though we do know that Game Pass did help propel the game's success. So it's that half in one hand, 6 in one hand, half a dozen in the other, right?
It depends on who you go to on what the answer is with Game Pass, developer-wise.
Yeah.
So,
that's 100% a case-by-case experience because others have said, hey, we put it on Game Pass and fucking cut our sales in half.
Exactly, yeah. And I hope Claire, now that they've made a name for themselves, I wish I knew the name of the studio. It's not...
Sandfall Interactive.
Sandfall, that's what it is. I hope they understand what value they bring and that it shouldn't be underneath the umbrella of a PlayStation or a Microsoft, specifically Microsoft, because they're just not trustworthy. And that's including all of the other things we've talked about with layoffs. And regardless of success, you sometimes see these studios get shut down or even, thousands of employees laid off.
I would expect so. That team has Ubisoft veterans on it.
Mm.
And some other some other people. I think Square Enix maybe, but they have veterans on that team who have worked for big corporations in the past.
But most of them are didn't I remember? I thought I remember them saying that it's a lot more younger game developers.
There's a lot of junior devs on there, but their leadership team is veterans,
okay.
So mix of this, that, and third. It also depends on who you ask. There might be 300 people working in that studio and not 30, because people don't understand how the business works. Moving on to our third topic of the day. My second penny, is that right, Connor? Yes, my second penny of the day. It's an interesting one for us, ladies and gentlemen. J.J. Abrams' game studio enters into publishing deal with PlayStation. Nice typo in the title there, Connor.
Wait. J.J. Abrams enters into publishing deal.
Ladies and gentlemen, he typed PlayStation, flipping where the A and the T go, but it's fine.
It's not fine.
Huh?
It's not fine.
Well, fix it on your phone while I'm reading right now.
No.
Oh, okay. Then don't. Bad Robots Games, the gaming division of J.J. Abrams' film and television company Bad Robot, signed a publishing agreement for the studio's first title. The unnamed game is described as a, quote, 4-player cooperative shooter, end quote, being directed by Mike Booth, designer on the first Left 4 Dead game, to be released on PlayStation and PC. Booth first joined Bad Robot Games in 2020, eventually becoming chief creative officer in 2022. Quote, partnering with Sony Interactive Entertainment allows us to bring our new IP to life with an expansive vision for this new universe, said CEO of Bad Robot Games, Anna Sweet, in a Sony press release. Excuse me. There's that Popeye again. Quote, with the support of PlayStation, we hope to deliver a bold, innovative experience that is truly special for players. I could not be more excited that Mike Booth is at the creative helm, crafting a cooperative adventure that will lead to unforgettable moments with friends. Now, I don't know shit about Bad Robot Games.
They've done nothing.
Okay.
They've done nothing at all. And so this is the first foray into trying to actually do something. Will it be successful?
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about this a little bit yesterday about how you think these style of games, the 4-player cooperative,
the Left 4 Dead-like
games, aren't viable anymore. And
who's asking for this?
There was the recent John Carpenter. I don't know if that released. It was the John Carpenter related game. What was it called?
You're scratching it. Yeah, you're scratching something here.
Kind of like wacky, a little bit more crazy, hectic, large amounts of enemies.
Yeah.
I don't think it came out. Because I feel like I would have heard something about it since then.
Oh man, the number of John Carpenter related headlines I've read in the last 6 years. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
I just think we tried this, didn't we? We did Back 4 Blood. Nobody liked it.
But that was also a game that came out not working properly. That was, I remember when it first released, was one of the big issues people were talking about, rather than just the game itself. Now, to be clear, I know the game itself was also lackluster, but I think you can sometimes get around that, but just not working properly out the gate, that's something that just players will pick up and say, well, I don't want to play an unfinished game, and then put it back down.
If we felt like this market was viable, we would see more Left 4 Dead clones than we do currently.
Which is why
how
it's an
many
issue,
asymmetric shooters do we see come out every year? Not as many as we used to.
Yeah.
But we still see them, right? Because that is still Dead by Daylight's effect was so large that everybody's looking for a scratch of that pie, right? That's why we still get we have a John Carpenter Halloween game coming out next year. You know what I mean? That's why we got Predator Hunting Grounds. We got Friday the 13th. Now, granted, I've named 3 games from the same developer. But there's another one that's popular. What's the other one, Connor?
Evolve. Years ago.
I remember Evolve. Holy shit. But all of that to say, I don't, and maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is something that people are looking for again. It would certainly seem fun. Elden Ring, Night Ring kind of scratches that itch a little bit, and we saw great success with that.
It doesn't go all the way with these kinds of games that they're trying to make here.
I also think that was just more. That was more off the base of I could play Elden Ring with my friends now, as opposed to being a Left 4 Dead game. You know what I'm saying? Which are two very, very different things. I don't see it, but if you can figure out a way to make it work, and I think the important part is attach it to an IP that people care about.
Yeah.
Then maybe you have something.
And then when I think of these games, obviously it's the director of it's being directed by Mike Booth, but I always think of this style of game, if it was going to be successful, of Left 4 Dead 3, not some other brand new game that now has to earn its place in this market, which is already very, very competitive. Even if you attach a name like Mike Booth, a lot of people are going to be like, shrug their shoulders. That's not the driving reason why they will want to play this game. And so I really hope it works.
Yeah, me too.
Because it's a studio that hasn't really made any games. I know it's attached to J.J. Abrams, but of course a lot more other people would work there and are employed by that company. But it's hard for me to get excited about this or hopeful about it because we've seen this come and go, and it's very
and
few
here's the thing,
have ever
we
succeeded.
cover game gets announced with XY thing all the time, where we're like, man, this is a new thing that let's see where it goes. But how often do we ever see those games come to fruition? They either get canceled and
John Romero's game,
and we talk about it and go, oh, that got canceled and that studio got shut down, or we just never hear about it again, and then it quietly gets like put on a shelf and it just disappears, right? How often does that happen? And in a world where Wonder Woman can't make it to market, in a world where like all these Star Wars games can't make it to market,
Black Panther game can't make it to market.
Exactly, right? The number of like big poppin' IPs that come out and are attached to genres that are still successful and make a lot of money, those can't make it to market. You're going to revive this genre that we have not ever really seen successful outside of one title, technically two with the sequel, but outside of this one IP, we have not seen this formula work. You're going to bring that formula back, I assume attach it to an IP, in a world where I think people are tired of seeing the same IPs again and again. Like, it feels like the artists of the world want something new, and now the people want something new as well. That's why Clear Obscure Expedition 33 is making the impact that it is. That's why we care more about that's why the curb stomping of Kendrick Lamar and Drake mattered, right? That's why Everything Everywhere All at Once became the most awarded movie of all time, right? We're just in a generation now of people want more than just what they're used to. We want something new. We want something experimental. We want something groundbreaking. And we're tired of seeing the same fucking titles again and again and again and again. And I think it's a clear coinciding of Marvel movies aren't doing what they used to do anymore. Now, that might be because of the quality of the movies, but I think it's also because been there, done that, bro. Like, what else do you have for us? Oh, nothing? All right, well, then it's on to the next thing.
And maybe the guy who started this craze can also revitalize it. But I'm hopeful, but not optimistic.
It just seems like bad strategy to me.
I wouldn't. Yeah. Just it's not for your first game. It doesn't seem to be the most proper choice.
The interesting part about this is the PlayStation backing. So that does give me more faith that it will make it to market. PlayStation games usually make it to market.
Days Gone has continued to be successful, apparently.
Yeah, somehow, right?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, and that's a first-party studio game and so forth. But, I mean, like, I can't think of a game that was announced. What is a PlayStation game that's been announced and then canceled?
There's got to be something.
There kind of hasn't been one, right?
There's got to be, though. But.
Like, there's titles that, like, I mean, Rockstar's Agent for PlayStation, with that, that's 2007, 6. I mean, Concord made it to market and was immediately ripped out of it. And then, we have question marks around games like Fair Games? Is that what that game was called? Or is that the studio name? The bank job game. You know what I'm talking about?
I know, but
is it Fair Games? It's Fair Games, right?
I think so.
Fair Games? Yeah, that's what it is, right? We'll see. Wow. If I don't know what it is, holy shit.
Oh, there's one. Payday. That was the other one you were looking for like 4-player, like cooperative games.
Yeah, and Payday 3, known widely as the most successful and fan favorite.
You were saying successful ones in general. There's one.
Payday 3 was not successful.
Not 3. There's 1, 2.
Okay, fair.
Not recently.
I mean, I don't know if Payday ever reached the heights of a Left 4 Dead.
I think it made money, though. But, I mean, it was successful.
Okay, sure. Yeah. That's because I talked about Fair Games.
Yep.
Look at the state of the industry that we're in right now. Yeah. So, like, if PlayStation backs you, it's a better shot than not that you're going to make it to market, especially, with all the other games that they have marketing deals with. Stellar Blade made a lot of money. Rise of the Ronin did quite well for what it was.
Yeah.
Another one that they have in the cut right now. I'm losing it, man. I'm getting old. I'm not. It's all this schoolwork. As soon as I'll be able to focus on games, I'm going to deliver the best podcasts of all time.
We'll see.
Connor, we're going to move on to our final topic of the day, and this is going to be my final penny of the day. No, your final penny of the day.
This
is your story. Connor, I get to shut the fuck up.
For once. Fucking Christ. That's the problem with taking time codes. The hours. The hours, like, you got to do more numbers than you did when there wasn't an hour to take a thing.
We spent fucking 19 minutes talking about fucking... Oh, I guess we were responding to comments, so I guess that was a good spend of our time, But we spent 19 minutes talking about our video games fun.
Yes.
Congratulations, they are!
Father of Fallout, Tim Cain, returns to Obsidian to develop an unexpected game. Should put that in quotes. Producer and programming... He didn't say quotes. I shouldn't. Producer and programming lead on the original Fallout, Tim Cain, announced in a YouTube video that he rejoined Obsidian Entertainment to work on a new game that fans won't see coming. Quote, "I'm back at Obsidian," Cain said. "I'm there as a full-time employee and in person, so not remote. And I'm not a contractor anymore. This means that I'm not working at other places, although there's at least one game that I worked on elsewhere that I know is going to ship," end quote. That's continuing quote. I can't talk about the project that I'm working on at Obsidian just because that's covered by NDA. Don't bother guessing. You're not going to guess right. I would probably say that I'm a lot less retired now, end quote. Cain first entered the industry working on the Bard's Tale construction set for Interplay Entertainment in 1991 before eventually working independently on what would evolve into the first Fallout game. That was also, by the way, published by Interplay Entertainment. Cain would join Obsidian in 2011 to work on 2015's Pillars of Eternity and eventually as co-director on The Outer Worlds. Cain left his position as a full-time employee in 2020, although he'd work on The Outer Worlds 2 in a contract role. So,
motherfucker just can't put it down.
Cannot put it down. He's in love with the game. What game is this? Because he can't guess.
It's something new. If you can't guess, it's something new.
But see, the fact that he immediately was saying, like, don't guess, you can't guess it, almost means to imply...
Well, because you read that headline, and what is your first thought?
That it's a game that no one would ever guess.
Connor, you read that headline.
Oh, yeah.
Let me get back to
unexpected. But see, that's the point. It's like, you would say, I'm working on a new game. Why would you say, like, unexpected? Why would you use language of, you can't guess what it is? Like, of course I wouldn't be able to guess what a new game is.
I think you're overthinking it.
I think you're being boring.
He's talking a much more simple... Wow. Okay.
Yeah, boring. Like, speculation.
First of all,
what weird games could Tim Cain be working on? But no,
it's a new game. He's working on something new. It's a new IP.
But,
why else would we not be able to guess it? Connor, you read the headline is Father of Fallout Tim Cain returns to Obsidian to develop it on an unexpected game.
Yeah, unexpected.
Father of Fallout returns to Obsidian. Your first thought would be a Fallout New Vegas something. Right? That's your first thought.
No.
No.
I never thought that. I never thought that for a second.
Oh, you're so full
First of all,
shit.
He did work on Fallout New Vegas, but he wasn't like one of the big parts of making Fallout New Vegas.
Father of Fallout,
the first Fallout.
Tim Cain returns to Obsidian to develop an unexpected game.
Yeah, he started Fallout.
Yes, you're already speaking with more information than the people have. I'm saying you read that headline, and what do you think? You think Fallout New Vegas something. Right? That's what you think.
No.
Yes.
That's the funny thing. I understand why you're thinking that. I never once was like, Fallout New Vegas. It's coming again.
Well then, who's the simple one here,
especially,
Connor?
By the way, first of all, you're the simple one. Because why would I assume that a game he's saying you wouldn't guess is Fallout New Vegas 2?
Because you won't shut the fuck up about this goddamn New Vegas game.
The point is it's an unexpected game. That's the most expected game I would think. So if he's saying you won't know what's coming, that's the last thing I'd think of. If he's playing a game and he's actually like, yeah, we're making Fallout New Vegas, but I'm going to make him think it's not Fallout New Vegas.
Right, but my perspective is that he's coming from a thought of, oh, people are going to know who I am, what I've done in the past, and they're going to assume something, and they shouldn't assume that because that's not what we're working on.
I was thinking more, again, yeah, exactly. So I was thinking more in terms of what Obsidian has done, not related to Fallout. They've only done Fallout New Vegas.
If I'm being real, Connor, I don't even think this is going to be on the level of an Outer Worlds or an Avowed or anything like that. I think we're going more Pentiment style.
Hey, we easily could. The only reason I wouldn't think that is they brought him back on, or if he rejoined to work on some project. You would think he'd still work in a contract position if it was a smaller scale game.
I mean, he worked in a contract position with Outer Worlds too.
Yeah, but he's not like. I guess it depends on what he's doing in this role, because he never said he was one of the lead developers. He could be working a random position, just being like anybody else and not being a leadership role. It's hard to imagine that.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he's already worked with contracting roles, so that's not one that you get. At least my understanding is that if you're being contracted, you're not going to be some head designer of the game.
I mean, I would assume it's like a contract advising role is what I would assume it is.
Could be that as well.
I'm speculating, of course.
But
it'd be like they'd hit him. Hey, man, what would you do? Hey, can you come in to help us workshop this idea? We've got this idea. We want to do it. And so he's spending hours with head devs and head writers to flesh out the world of their game and so forth and things like that.
Yeah.
Is what I would assume that position would be, because you're just too experienced. You've led too many other projects for you to just be a coder.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, that's no disrespect to coders.
No, but he started out that way. He has the skills to do that, and because he's no longer he went to working on contract roles, you could perceive that as, well, he wanted to take a bit of a smaller hand in the game creation process, because I'm assuming working those more management style roles, even if they give you more money and more authority in the gaming space, it might come with it certain responsibilities that somebody who's worked in that role for a long period of time would say, I want to not deal with that level of work. I'm reading into who Tim Cain is as a person. I don't know anything really personally about him. I struggled to think of what other things Obsidian has done that I don't think it's Pillars of Eternity, because, again, it's something that you wouldn't expect. And so, what exactly is that? Is it the Bard's Tale?
Huh? Well, I just want to see what Bard's Tale even looks like. Oh, this is a classic, old school first-person dungeon crawler-esque RPG, huh?
Hey, turn-based games, people like them.
They got like a world map here. Here, let me get.
Yeah, it's like a top-down.
Look at that map.
Which makes sense with how he went on to make Fallout. Same kind of camera.
It's not a first person. My bad.
Yeah.
This is more of a, what is this? Almost like a
turn-based almost.
Yeah, it's almost like a tactics RPG.
He did work on Pillars of Eternity too, so he seems to like those turn-based games, which is why I immediately go to that when I think of some game.
Bard's Tale is a fantasy role-playing video game designed and programmed by Michael Cranford for the Apple II. It was produced by Interplay.
Oh no, this is not the Bard's Tale. The one I was talking about in the article is
you're
different.
You're right. I'm looking at a 1985 thing. He worked on
construction set. Yeah.
What the fuck is
I never actually looked that up. I was kind of just like,
man, they were just making shit in the 90s, man.
Oh, is it like a build your own D&D style adventure? Oh, it's a small game.
Computer game creation system that allows for the creation of dungeon crawl video games based on. Oh, wow. Okay, so yeah, it's a build your own game in the world of the Bard's Tale, I guess.
Yeah, using the systems of the Bard's Tale.
Interesting. Okay. All right.
So, more of a technical game than you would think.
And then working independently on what would evolve into the first Fallout game.
Yes.
Going to Obsidian in 2011 to work on Pillars of Eternity. I don't know anything about
it. Oh, he didn't work on New Vegas. I think he worked on... What other Fallout game did he worked on? Some later Fallout game. Can't remember. Pillars of Eternity is a turn-based CRPG. That's what it is.
CRPG?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Apparently very, very high quality. But, yeah, I mean, comment down below. What do you think Tim Cain's going to be working on?
Yeah, I mean, I would still lean into this as a smaller game on the scale of like a Pentiment, which makes me think old school CRPG or like maybe something in the styling of Fallout 1 and 2 is what I would think, because this is clearly someone who is real nerdy with the numbers, right?
Yeah.
Or who works on games that are real nerdy with the numbers. So like, Pentiment, not a real numbers-based game, but, a cute little adventure game.
Not as much with the Outer Worlds either, but...
Yeah, so yeah, I would expect you're looking at something kind of leaning into that, and again, this is going to be a smaller thing. If I were to guess, Connor, Obsidian games kind of have a look to them. I would imagine this is going to go left visually. I think this is going to be this is going to be something that you would not expect from Obsidian Entertainment right now. Because like yes, Outer Worlds is a little animated, right? It's got like, it's got the Moon Man as its like mascot or whatever. But like
Quirky,
at the end of the day, like, like it's still got that like kind of like grit to it, that grit, that you also see with Pillars of Eternity, that you also see with
like a lot of the images they give us in marketing is kind of in the world to cover up how kind of bad.
Well, I guess Grounded kind of throws my point out a little bit.
But that's also, an ongoing game that they're constantly supporting.
Right.
It's a bit different.
Started in early access, so it started as a cheap project that kind of set the visual tone, but it looks that way because it's cheaper to make it look that way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But then Pentiment has a very unique art style. So yeah. I guess throw my point out about Obsidian games all look the same. I guess that's not true. I guess that's not true at all. I guess they're very, very dynamic in what they do. Man, Obsidian's great, man.
I love Obsidian.
Yeah? You love Obsidian? How many of their games did you play this year? They put out 3 of them.
Avowed.
You played Avowed?
Yeah.
Oh, we talk about this all the time.
Yeah. Good. There's not a lot of good games this year. Better games. Sorry.
I wanted to play Outer Worlds too, but I ran out of time.
Yeah.
Your bitch ass made me want to play, or made me play Dark Souls
and Elden Ring Night Rain.
Well, that's just because I got bit by the bug and I needed more of that experience.
You're gonna get another experience next month, Tavin. You didn't need that. Dark Souls 2.
I mean, I could have just started Dark Souls 2. I already have it installed.
I was thinking about doing that, but maybe I will do. Well, maybe.
Maybe you should. This is a conversation me and Phil were having while we were waiting for you to jump on Night Rain last night. Where are you in Clair Obscure?
Literally I know I'm at the end because of what you told me when you were playing it. I'm about to fight the Paintress, and I know the game, like the end of the game, opens up like right after that. Go right to the fight.
You've got after the Paintress, maybe a cool 5 hours left if you mainline it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which, I mean, you don't have to mainline it, but you could. I would.
I'm going to see how it goes. How it plays out.
I think the narrative momentum kind of makes you want to go, all right, let me go. Let me go do that.
That's what our friend Patrick was saying. My friend Patrick. Yeah, he was like, play the story. Do other stuff later.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you haven't fought the Paintress yet, though?
No.
Are you even like in that area, or they're just?
I'm headed to that area.
Oh, okay.
Oof. A hard fight.
Some things are going to start. Yes, but some things are going to start happening.
Mm-hmm. I imagine I've been waiting for like things to really pop off
for a long time, right? This is my point. This is just fucking waiting. I'm waiting for answers. Anyways, a little point. I don't think Clair Obscure is like the greatest game of all time. But good.
Damn good.
I do think it's probably the best game this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's up there for sure.
Play more Hades 2.
I need to play more Hades 2, man. I'm so fucking busy all the goddamn time. Ladies and gentlemen, that is going to be it for your latest episode of the Two Penny Gamescast. Let us know down in the comments below what you think about all of the news we covered this week. Is Netflix buying Warner Brothers a good or bad thing? Is the Xbox failing? Is J.J. Abrams giving us a new video game? Whatever else you want to talk about in the comments down below. Remember, this is the Two Penny Gamescast. Each week you can catch us live, twitch.tv/2pennygames, or mainstream podcast services of your choice every Tuesday at 8 a.m. Central Time. Make sure you like, subscribe, drop a comment down below so that you can have your own Two Pennies read on the show next week. Follow us on social media. Follow us on TikTok. Lot of great videos going up here recently, and I'm very excited to be told to be set on fire again and again. It's great.
It is great.
Sometimes I hate being like the main dude here. You know what I mean? Because I'm the one who has to read all the comments and reply to them and then pull and then
Hey, I'll start doing that then.
Listen, I'm not gonna lie. Some of them Instagram comments, fucking dampened my day a little bit yesterday. I was like, oh man,
as those things often tend to do. So I will go in.
Will you now?
I'll make an Instagram account.
Oh, gross.
Yeah. Really don't want to do that.
Anyways, until next time, have a great time. And Connor, say goodbye to the people.
Bye.